Well, hello and welcome back to Stockton Junction. So today's quick video is the APT again. So I've had it back from Hornby. I will say what they've told me, but I don't actually think that it's an issue, or it could be an issue for some people, but it's not been the issue I've had. So they said to me that the couplings weren't long enough and that was causing the derailments. But as you all clearly saw, I ran it coupled up and singly on its own, and it had the same issues both times. And I believe that, yes, that could be an issue for some people. If it's too closely coupled on a tight curve, it could cause derailment issues. So if you're having derailment issues on flats with close coupling, then yes, that could be your issue, and put the longer couplings in place. So that is good sound advice from Hornby. But I've had some other information given to me, and that seems to have solved the problem. So one of my subscribers, Rick Allybone, I hope I pronounced that correctly, mentioned the DCC chips and the issue that is causing himself the same problem as what I had. So as you see, there isn't much space in there. So originally, obviously, I fitted a chip in here. You've got all this wiring and everything else inside this very small space. And what's happening is, as the train turns, as it moves, and I don't know if I can replicate it, if you can see that, but as you turn this whole centerpiece leans like that. That is how it does. I think you can just about see the gap there as it's leaning. So basically what's happening is the chip is fouling the body here as there's not enough space. So when it leans like that, it's not allowing it's actually stopping the movement. So it's actually making the wheels not turn. So you're not allowing this bogie to actually turn. So what was happening is basically the body stopping there was only allowing this to turn like that instead of fully. It was only allowing a small amount of turn. So that would then make the front and rear wheel kick out on a turn, because these are the nearest two, so they'll go round the angled turn, whereas the outer ones, which were derailing, were not able to, because the bogie was staying straight. And because it moves like that a little bit, these ones were jumping off the track. So as somebody else had already mentioned, putting the chip inside the loco, and I actually had tried this and I still had the same problem before. But what it was, so I was using the Hornby chips. These wires, when you get them, are all twisted up like that. That creates a thick piece, which, whilst coming up through that thin gap there, was still stopping this from moving. So what I've done is, obviously, I've undone the wires like so that it's nice flat and makes it very thin. So the first job, obviously, is you need to find your pin 1, so that's that way, so the chip is going to sit that direction. So we need to put this in, and what I'm doing is I'm holding the body against the side here to pull more of a gap down there. And you need to also be aware there's wires coming up from the side, so not to foul those. So what I'm going to do is very gently slide that chip in, and it does get sort of stuck at that point, so you need to wiggle it a little bit until it comes through. So that's now through. There is a knot in those wires there, but I'm going to pull that through. and then I'm going to plug the chip in. So that's in now, and then what I want to do now is, so you can see how flat those wires are there. So that's almost ready. So what I need to do is, obviously this is all metal, you don't want that shorting out on here. So I'm just going to put another piece of tape on there, like so. And another piece like that to hold the chip in place. Now I haven't covered the chip because these can get warm. It just gives it a little bit more air. It's not going to be touching anything. But what we've got is, the main thing is, those are all flat and thin, and we can test it. And those are still turning. So I'm turning both bogies. Sorry, it's hard to see on the camera, I know I'm getting in the way. And making sure that the centre is still turning and swivelling on its own. So, which it is. And that seems to be quite nice. So I'm going to put it all back together. Going to get this going on my test track to get it chipped up with the other one. And the next job I'm going to be doing is speed matching the pair of NDMs to make sure that they're working as well. But I'm going to test this one after I've put the body back on to see if it's running. As you saw in the first clip, just before I started this video, the train is running, and that was the NDM that came as a separate standalone, not the one in the pack. So the one you just saw running was this one. This one here is the one out of the 7-car coach pack, which, sorry, I'm actually sat on a tripod at the moment. So that's that one there that I'm working on. So I will get this one set up and give it a test on its own with the other car pack that's already there. Make sure this one's running as well with the same as the other one. But as you saw, the other one is working. I didn't show you it on the Helix, but I will do in a short while. Well, look at that. That's the full set. And it's actually as long as it is all the way round, so bit of squeaking but no derailments. So going up the Helix, that is the full set. It did have a little stall over the back, coming up the back bit. That's why you can get the video quickly. I have got a bit of a track issue just there I need to sort out as well, with a bump. But it is going. Right, so I've taken 2 cars off. I'm now running it as an 11 car. I did find that it was just a little bit struggling with the 13 cars up the Helix, but you know, the fact that it's going, I can deal with that. So as you can see, she's running up there. That is both the power motor cars though running together. So I do wonder if Hornby were watching that and holding their breath, waiting to see if I could actually get it running, or if it was going to be another complaint from me. But I think they'll be going phew after seeing that video. And yeah, so I'm actually quite happy now, thanks to Rick. So yeah, very happy with her. She's running well round the layout. So a bit of a mess in here, as you can see, because I've got a lot of stuff going on, but she's running round and round, absolutely no problem. Only thing I've got is 2 coaches that I can't use, or I can use, but I'm not going to, because although she will pull all of them, it is struggling some more slightly with the helix. It's causing a little bit of wheel spin here and there, but also don't forget that it's got to be running a bit more anyway, so I might find that I can chuck the other 2 on once it's really run the motor in really well. So I'm going to keep her running for a while. But yeah, so that's the fix. If you've got derailments and it's not going round a corner, and you're using DCC, put these in the correct way. So I shall have a little run, and I'll probably get the other APT out running as well in a minute. So quick conclusion on today's testing and stuff. So as you can see, I've got it down to 5 cars at the moment. I'm just going to use it for running it in properly, to run the motors in well. So I have had one small issue. When the 2 power cars are running together, it ran round for quite some time, no problems, and then on this other power car, the rear wheel here just came off the track. But again, that could be the couplings, because it didn't have a very long coupling on that one. So, and also that the 2 power cars are very slightly mismatched in speed, because I'm running them both under the same address at the moment. I'm just running them both on one address. So when they run together, not on a consist. Consists are a bit more awkward, and that's when you can speed match properly, which I'll probably do in the future. But for now, I've just run it as was. And obviously one's running slightly faster than the other. It might be that it's what's caused the derailment as well. But I'm going to be testing both power cars just with as a 5 car set, running them round and round and round to run them in and see if I get any further issues. And if I don't, then it's really good. So because the one thing I don't like when it comes to consists is on my system here, if I choose to select loco, the consists that I've already made, as you can see, says consist. You can't rename them on here, and although there may be a firmware upgrade that does that, but so if you've got multiple consists, how do you know which one you're selecting? Because obviously I haven't got any pictures on there yet, so I don't know what they are, because it just says multi-consist. I know one of these is for the class 33 with the 411 DMU. and I can't remember what the other one is, so I need to actually get rid of those at some point. And I am going to upgrade the firmware on this, so I don't know if it will change the ability to rename a consist. It would be really helpful. So there's one for ESU to look at. If it isn't being dealt with, I'm going to email them and ask them if they can add that in the next firmware update, if possible, because it is a real pain if you've got multiple consists, because you've got to sit and choose and try and remember which one's which. But anyway, yeah, so it is running, as you saw, quite nicely. Bit more testing to do and a bit of running in to do, but I'll leave it there for today. And I hope you enjoyed this, and if you've had any similar issues, I hope this might help with the issues that you've had. So thanks for watching, and bye for now.